Welcome back, folks, to the random video blog that usually goes up on Friday nights. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I give my rambling thoughts in the wrestling world, share some stories, etc., etc. So my first official video filmed with this camera in about 3 or 4 weeks on my new laptop. Great stuff. Finally came in on Thursday. So before we get into the topic at hand here, I know I'm a little late to the party. Seth Rollins' injury, which the news broke on Thursday. I'll be talking all about that in a couple minutes. Just want to give a few updates on the channel in regards to the YouTube channel. Thank you guys for sticking with me through all the thick and thin of the channel and all the issues that I've been dealing with, not just from a computer standpoint, over the last couple of weeks. So for those unaware, I talked about it in last week's video blog, but long story short, on October 19th, on a Monday, 3 weeks ago from this upcoming Monday, my computer just completely shot down. I mean, it was okay, but I couldn't charge it. I've had it for like 4 years, so I was due for a new one anyway. I was going to get a new one for Christmas, or I was aiming to get a new one for Christmas. But I couldn't hold out any longer because I couldn't charge anymore. So I filmed #AskGSM as my computer was literally dying, but I couldn't take the file off the original computer, and it died, and I couldn't charge it, and I brought it to the people here on my college campus to fix. They couldn't do anything about it, so I said, fuck it, I'll just order a new computer. Very long process, hope to get it a couple weeks ago, but it is here now. I'm wearing my Ryback t-shirt, so I guess t-shirt reference, staying positive, and we finally got through it. So I was able to upload some videos here on the channel over the last couple of weeks, some old video blogs that I had filmed before. The Hell in a Cell one I filmed a couple weeks ago. Last week's I filmed on my phone, and I edited it through one of the school computers, which I've been using. And that's how I've been able to get all the videos up, all the Wrestle Rants, the Wrestle Rant radio excerpts, and the interviews that I've been posting that have been up in my, I've had them in my video library for a while now. I just finally had a chance to upload them because nothing else has been going up on the channel. But literally, I would download Audacity and Movie Maker and all these other things I would use to make these videos. Every single time I would go to use a school computer because they would get deleted because the computer would restart and it doesn't store files. And through Dropbox, God love Dropbox, it's amazing. But yeah, I don't want to bore you guys with the whole long process, but my laptop finally came in on Thursday. I am so behind on #AskGSMs. It's going to be the first one this upcoming Monday. The first one since, I don't know, Columbus Day, since the 100th episode. Thank God we got that one out of the way, but I apologize for not getting any videos up more frequently over the last couple of weeks. We will be getting back on track starting this weekend, starting with this very video. And I do still have all the questions from #AskGSM that was supposed to go up on the 12th or the 19th rather. So I might just film that video, and that might be up tomorrow on Sunday. I'm filming this on Friday, so I might film it on Saturday, have it go up on Sunday. All the Wrestle Rant editions, I still have to film. No Mercy '08 review and all the Survivor Series reviews. I'm going to be posting those like crazy over the next week or two. Trying to get back on track as we head into the month of November. It already is November. Time flies by so quickly. But anyway, guys, thank you for tuning into the video blog for this week. That is it for the updates. So getting into the real news for this week, Seth Rollins out with an injury, torn his ACL, MCL, and then torn meniscus too. He will be out for 6 to 9 months, was forced to relinquish the WWE World Heavyweight Championship on Thursday. So I saw the video, I saw the report on Wednesday about him kind of getting hurt a little bit, getting banged up in his match against Kane overseas in Dublin. And I figured it wasn't really anything big. And then John texted me halfway during one of my classes. And I don't usually look at my phone during class, but I just had it out for whatever reason because I didn't have a laptop, so I was using my phone. And John texted me about it. My heart just sank. You know, Seth Rollins this year has been, if not the year of Kevin Owens, the year of Seth Rollins. The guy has one of the best matches of the entire year, along with John Cena and Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. He wins at Fastlane, main events WrestleMania, cashes in, becomes the first person to cash in Money in the Bank in the main event of WrestleMania, and walks out with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now, I know there's been a lot of criticism of his reign over the last 6 to 7 months. I've enjoyed it for the most part. I can definitely see where some people would have a problem with it because he always lost. Right after he beat Sting at Night of Champions, he lost for a solid month on fucking Raw and SmackDown for whatever reason. So that wasn't really too good. But other than that, he had successful title defenses against Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Randy Orton, Neville, Sting, John Cena, Brock Lesnar. The list goes on and on and on. Kane at Hell in a Cell. And he was scheduled to defend it against Roman Reigns at Survivor Series match I was really looking forward to. And coincidentally enough, as some people have pointed out on social media, the first time they were going to face off in Night of Champions 2014, Roman Reigns got injured and that match never ended up coming to fruition. Now, we have since had that match. We had that match at I mean, they had it on the Raw before Night of Champions, but we got it a few times earlier this year. But I was really looking forward to that. I'm pretty sure that Roman Reigns was going to win the belt anyway, so I'm, for all the conspiracy theorists, and I was one of them, that I figured that he would hold the belt until WrestleMania. I think there was a pretty big chance, and based off the story they were telling, that Reigns was going to win the belt at Survivor Series, do a rematch at TLC, and Rollins still would have been involved in the main event plans. I figured he probably would have been involved in a feud with Triple H going into WrestleMania. And of course, that's off the table. If he's out for 6 to 9 months, he'll be back in May, which cuts him out of WrestleMania entirely. That really sucks. I was really hoping to see a Shield triple threat or the Triple H match or whatever. I mean, hands down, the guy deserved to main event or at least be at WrestleMania after the amazing year that he's had in 2015. So first and foremost, get well, Seth Rollins. Really sucks to hear the news. Couldn't come at a worse time, too. John Cena's taking time off, and I really hope this does not force WWE or lead to WWE bringing him back early. It's not because I don't like John Cena, but it's been nice. The last couple of weeks without John Cena have been nice. Not to say that he was hogging the main event spotlight before he left. Again, 2015 has been a great year for John Cena. The guy's been involved constantly in the United States Championship picture, having amazing matches every single pay-per-view, putting some people over, put over Del Rio clean at Hell in a Cell. But not only that, he deserves a break. The guy has not gotten one break in the 10 years he's been on top, other than when he's been injured. So let's be real here. He gets a few Raws off here now and then over the last couple of years for one night. But he has never been off TV for a consistent period of time when he's not injured. So that's cool to see. I have a feeling they probably will bring him back. I don't know if they'll bring him back in time for Raw on Monday, which I'm pretty sure will be in England. But time will tell. I mean, I really hope they don't, and I'd rather they held off until TLC when it's in Boston, which I will be at, by the way. Either that or the MSG special, or the MSG show, rather, right after that. Right after Christmas. In December is when I'm hoping to see John Cena back. Any earlier than that, I feel like would be a waste of his time off, and he deserves the time off, so hopefully they don't have to call him back. Randy Orton's out, as announced this past week on Raw, for 4 to 6 months with a injured shoulder. Rusev's out for the next 3 to 4 weeks. Sami Zayn's out, Hideo Itami's out, Daniel Bryan's out, Brock Lesnar isn't coming back right now. I mean, he could, I just don't really see how. I mean, he beat The Undertaker at Hell in a Cell, but I don't really see WWE bringing him back until WrestleMania season. Maybe they'll shock us. I mean, I would love to see him in the tournament at Survivor Series, which I'll get to in a second, but The Undertaker, same thing. I feel like he's only here for Survivor Series or the 25th anniversary, blah, 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 blah. But bottom line, this really forces WWE to create new stars. On the flip side, it really sucks that Rollins is gone. He was one of the best parts about Raw every single week, but we got to look at the positives. Now, after RJ and I were texting back and forth, kind of talking about how much it sucked that Rollins was going to be off TV for the next 6 to 9 months, we started looking at the bright side of things, in that, one, we could see finally some fresh faces in the main event scene, unless they bring back somebody or they bring back John Cena early or whatever. But this forces WWE to look at the roster they have. Guys like Cesaro, guys like Dolph Ziggler, guys like Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and who have not been involved in the title picture in months. Ambrose and Reigns haven't contended for the gold since like the summer, since the spring for Dean Ambrose or even Roman Reigns. So it's something fresh. I like the tournament aspect of it. I don't know if they'll call it Deadly Games as we saw in 1998, or even the format of it has yet to be announced. Whether it's 8 men, 6 men, 4 men, we really don't know anything about it or the participants as of right now. I'm sure we'll get some updates on Monday's Raw in England, which like I said, I'm pretty sure that where it's going to be emanating from. But I'm looking forward to it. I love tournaments. WWE, I feel, does not do enough of them. And it just makes it feel prestigious. Like, I loved what they did a couple weeks ago on Raw with all the winners from Hell in a Cell face off, and the winners of those matches, main event to the main event of Raw, headline or proceed to the main event of Raw and become the new number 1 contender to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I love the concept because it only bases off winners, not losers. It's not like, Barrett lost at Hell in a Cell and he gets the title shot the next night. That makes no sense, and WWE has done that time and time again. Thankfully, that was not the logic they used in creating that match. And I'm hoping that's not the logic they use for this tournament. I mean, if it's 16 men, we could see a Neville in there. The guy's a glorified loser. I love Neville, but the guy's a loser. He loses every single week. But if it's a 16-man tournament, I'd have no problem with the guys like him being in there. But if it's 8 men, I would hope they limit it down to the elite competition. And I'm talking about, I know Cesaro loses a lot too, but he's a guy I could see going far in the tournament. I don't see them making a star out of him or putting the belt on him. Let's not really get too hasty here. Again, would love to see it, just don't see it happening. I think one of two things happens, and I said this on Twitter, and I've said it to multiple people. I just think, I've been saying this for months, and not to say I was the first one to come up with the idea, But I feel like Roman Reigns should be the one to turn heel on Dean Ambrose and not the other way around. I know it makes more sense with Ambrose going heel after all the foreshadowing that we saw at Hell in the Cell and the next night and over the last couple months, and Ambrose keeps on eating the pin in Roman Reigns' matches, and he keeps on fighting his battles for him, and he's jealous of Roman Reigns in the title picture, so he screws him over and wins the belt for himself. But bottom line is that we need a new top heel. We just got done talking about this, coincidentally enough, on Wrestle Rant Radio on Tuesday, full episode up at nextdaywrestling.net, cheap plug. We just got finished talking about this on Tuesday. WWE has no real legitimate heels. Barrett and Sheamus I like Barrett and Sheamus, but as a tag team, as singles heels, they have really no credibility whatsoever right now. Sheamus cashing in, I will just throw this out right now. Don't really want to see it. I like Sheamus exponentially more as a heel. But him cashing in will do WWE no favors. Reigns winning the belt and Sheamus cashing in on him, or anybody for that matter, well, no one's going to care. I mean, I know the guy's a heel, they're going to boo him, but it's not going to be that right kind of heat. He should be an aggressive heel, not this cookie-cutter, book-like shit heel that no one gives two craps about. So I really, really hope this is not the lead of Sheamus cashing in successfully or cashing in at all. I would really rather hope his contract expires. Imagine that if his contract comes up in July of next year and it just runs out without him even attempting to cash in. Would be hilarious. I don't want to see that happen. But anyway, going back to what I was saying before, Rusev's out for a little while. Barrett and Sheamus are not credible. Bray Wyatt is putting feuds just to put other people over. I mean, I made a joke about it on the Halloween episode, or on Halloween on my Facebook page, made a little Ghostbuster remix out of the Bray Wyatt song that I did, or Bray Wyatt remix of the Ghostbusters song, because the guy's a loser. He just gets put in feuds to put other people over. John Cena, The Undertaker, Roman Reigns, and they're all elite competition. But when's the last time Bray Wyatt really got something going before they weren't feeding him to someone else? Yes, he won his feud with Dean Ambrose, but that was only to feed him to The Undertaker WrestleMania. You know what I mean? I think it's kind of dumb, and I think the guy deserves more. But he's not a real threat to the title right now, and he's involved with The Undertaker and Kane, and have him do that. Have him do that. I love Wyatt. He deserves a title reign, but I think right now he should focus on the Brothers of Destruction. So who does that leave? Really nobody. There's not many heels left that are considered credible at this period in time. Other than Kevin Owens, I feel like he's a perfect fit for the Intercontinental Championship right now. That's not to say he can't be elevated to the main event level, which I absolutely could see him being. I think he's an amazing heel. They have booked him pretty well, other than the John Cena tap out at Battleground. I know it was an amazing match where he looked strong in defeat, whatever. And the guy is still a winner. But I feel like he can still, he can be elevated to main event status right now if they wanted him to. But like I said earlier, I really feel like they need to make a new heel out of somebody. They have so many baby faces, they need to turn somebody, and it should be Reigns or Ambrose. Like I said earlier, it makes more sense from a storyline standpoint, to turn Ambrose because he's jealous of Roman Reigns, blah, 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 blah. I'm not hating on it because it's predictable. I just don't like that idea because I feel like, and again, I've been saying this for months, dating back to when people were predicting an Ambrose heel turn at SummerSlam in Brooklyn, which I was also at. I just feel like Ambrose will get over. He is a natural heel. I will give you that. I absolutely agree. I feel like the money in Dean Ambrose long-term is as a heel. But that being said, if he was to feud with Roman Reigns, who has kind of been getting stronger reactions as of late, which is awesome. I'm not a Roman Reigns fan, but I really like his work, and I think he can be huge if booked properly. But then you go to the more smarky towns, you go to the pay-per-views, the guy's not going to be cheered as heavily when he's put up against a guy like Dean Ambrose, who people are going to side with him over Ambrose, over Roman Reigns, any day of the week. I will tell you that right now. I'm not saying it because I'm pro-Ambrose and anti-Reigns. I love them both, more so Ambrose, and I admit my bias, but I'm saying that because I just feel like people will side with Ambrose over Roman Reigns if they were to feud and Ambrose was the heel. So what I would do, and I know it's shades of 1998 at the exact same pay-per-view, Deadly Games and whatever, I feel like Ambrose is not Mankind of 98, but he's a very sympathetic character. He's unstable, just like Mankind was. He's also very sympathetic, just like Mankind was, because the guy always loses. Ambrose, that is. But he's not losing to look like a loser, like Neville is. He looks like the ultimate underdog. Ambrose does, because he doesn't fit the typical WWE mold, and whoever becomes the new top heel, I feel like will side with the Authority. In a perfect world, I would get rid of the Authority altogether, but they're probably going to keep them around until Rollins comes back so he can feud with Triple H, whatever. That makes sense. I really have no problem with that. And the Authority needed to shake up anyway if they were going to stick around. But of those two options, who fits better than the Authority? Reigns or Ambrose? And I know they've both been feuding with the Authority forever, but that's really no excuse, because so was Rollins before he turned heel last year. So that's really no excuse. Money talks, people. So does power. And I feel like Roman Reigns is the perfect fit for the Authority. And I've been saying this since WrestleMania, that I feel like right now anyway, his time is to be a heel. Right now at the moment. I feel like long term, yes, he will be a breakout babyface, but people just aren't connecting with him as well as WWE thought they would. Earlier this year when he won the Royal Rumble, because the people felt he was being shoved down their throats, which is absolutely justified, But I just feel like right now Roman Reigns is born to be a heel. And I'm not saying he's the next Rock. I know I've said that before. I said that about a year ago, and I take that back, because he's not the Rock in any shape, form, or fashion. But he can evolve like the Rock in the sense that Rock really, he was popular in 1998, don't get me wrong, but before that anyway, before he turned at the Survivor Series 98 pay-per-view, no one really cared for him as a babyface in the mid-card scene, die Rocky die, that was infamous chants. But then when he went heel in the Nation of Domination, he was awesome. And we saw Roman Reigns as the amazing heel that he was in the Shield. He was also great as a babyface in the Shield, but as a heel at Survivor Series, the same exact pay-per-view 2 years ago, 2013, a shitty-ass pay-per-view. But one of the best parts about that show is Roman Reigns cleaning house of everyone at that show. In that 5-on-5 elimination tag team match that kicked off the show, literally the only highlight of that awful pay-per-view was Roman Reigns knocking 4 out of 5 guys in a row in that elimination tag team match, just knocking them all off and winning and becoming the sole survivor. So I would love to see that same thing happen this year, just with a badass Roman Reigns. The guy doesn't need to talk. They can always turn Ambrose heel and keep Roman Reigns in chase mode. Unless, like I said, either one of two ways I would love to see it happen. Either Reigns fails to win the belt at Survivor Series as a babyface and is kept in chase mode, and he finally gets it back at WrestleMania. People might not reject him as much. If he wins the Rumble again, people will shit on him. I can promise you that, because people want to see something new, and having the same guy win back-to-back years is not necessarily something new. But in the other scenario, I would have him go heel and win the championship and have him be the new face of the Authority. And what makes that even better is that the roles will be reversed. When Rollins comes back in 6 to 9 months, and if he comes back in 9 months, we'll be able to see him in SummerSlam in the Barclays Center, which would be amazing. But selfishly speaking, I would love to see him back at SummerSlam, but overall, I would love to see him back a lot sooner, of course. But still, I feel like if Roman Reigns was to join the Authority and go heel, he could be the new face, the new top heel and the new face, but the new face of WWE, the new face of the Authority, the new top heel. And then when Rollins comes back, which will be undoubtedly as a babyface, WWE would be absolute morons not to turn him upon his return. He was going to turn anyway at some point, let's face it. The guy is, like Ambrose is a natural heel, Rollins is a natural babyface, which is scary to think about because the guy's such a great heel. So imagine what he's going to be capable of as a babyface when he comes back and he turns. Shades of Triple H in 2002 when he came back in January in MSG to one of the loudest reactions in Raw history, which I feel like will be the same thing when Rollins comes back next year. But still, I feel like when Rollins comes back, have him as the babyface, Reigns as the heel. You're still doing that same feud. You're picking up where you left off, but the roles will be reversed, and you can do Rollins and Reigns, and when Rollins comes back, and then Triple H can side with Roman Reigns, and he can play favorites like, oh, I still love you, Rollins, but this is my new favorite toy that I still want to kind of play with. I know I have memories and a history with you, but I want to play with my new toy, Roman Reigns. And he ultimately sides with Roman Reigns, and we get Seth and Triple H, maybe not at WrestleMania 33, but we get it at SummerSlam or Survivor Series next year. There's so many different ways they can go about this. So on the downside, we're down another star, like another fresh face in the main event scene. We're down the world champion. On the bright side, and I like to look at the positive side of things here, it forces WWE to create new stars. The Survivor Series pay-per-view, which was already shaping up to be pretty strong anyway, will now be completely unpredictable. We don't know. We'll find out more on Raw on Monday, like I said earlier. But we could have the entire tournament at the pay-per-view. We could have the 2 semifinals and then the finals and the main event, which is what I would rather see. I watched the 98 show, was not a huge fan of it. They didn't do the entire 60-man tournament, I don't think, but they did 75% of it, and it didn't really make for a great show. A lot of the matches were like 3 minutes long, and the payoff was worth it, but with guys like fucking Gilbert and Al Snow, I didn't really need to see that at Survivor Series. I would rather they spend that time. They already have other made-ready feuds for the pay-per-view, with the Usos and the New Day, with Paige and Charlotte, with Owens and Ambrose, and I'm sure they're going to take Ambrose out of the IC title picture anyway, but you get what I mean. They already have other ready-made feuds for the pay-per-view. And hopefully a 5-on-5 elimination tag team match, a traditional Survivor Series match at the pay-per-view. So don't scrap that stuff just to make way for a 16-man tournament at the show. I would rather see them, if anything, do 4 or 5 tournament matches. In a perfect world, I would have 3, just the 2 semifinals and the finals, and then you do the big main event title match with hopefully Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. No one else makes as much sense other than maybe Kevin Owens, but I feel like they have him right where they want him right now in the mid-card or upper mid-card or whatever. And then that's really it, because all the other guys really aren't as credible. The New Day, they have been main eventing Raw, but they're not main event level heels. They're the tag team champions. Barrett and Sheamus are losers. Just to reiterate, because I got a lot of questions on Twitter after the news broke about Rollins. Do I see Sheamus cashing in on Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship? Or do I see him cashing in at whoever wins the tournament at Survivor Series? Or do I want to see him cash in? No and no. I mean, I can kind of see it because Vince has a hard-on for Sheamus, probably the only one who is as high on Sheamus as anyone else is. But I just don't see the real reason in it. If Sheamus was on a roll and if he was gaining momentum right now, I would maybe be a little bit more open to it, but he's not. The guy is in the tag team division exactly where he should be. He shouldn't be anywhere else. Nobody cares about Sheamus, and I hate to say that. I think he's a great heel. He's so much better as a heel than as a babyface, but he has no momentum going because the booking of his character in 2015 alone since he came back has been so up and down, start and stop, that no one gives a shit about his character right now, much less at a main event level. So I would rather just have him cash in unsuccessfully, having Taker win the belt for a cup of coffee, and then having Sheamus cash in. I don't want to see that. Roman Reigns and Sheamus, with Reigns as the babyface and Sheamus as the heel, I could really honestly care less. Couldn't care less about a Sheamus Reigns feud for the title. No one's going to side with Roman Reigns. No one gives a shit about Sheamus. The matches would be okay at best. I would really rather hope they just go with Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. And if Roman Reigns was to go heel, you could do Roman Reigns and John Cena for TLC or at the Royal Rumble, a match we've never seen before. You could do Roman Reigns and Dolph Ziggler, Roman Reigns and Cesaro, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose at WrestleMania or one of the other pay-per-views, or even fucking Brock Lesnar, do a WrestleMania rematch from last year. Neither guy beat the other. Remember, it was Seth Rollins who interfered and won the belt, so they never really settled their score. Maybe we get that match at WrestleMania again next year, but with the roles reversed, Lesnar is the conquering babyface and then Roman Reigns is the heel. Like I said, there's so many different routes, so many different routes that can go with this storyline, and I'm excited to see where it goes. It sucks to see Seth Rollins out with an injury for as long as he will be, but on the bright side, it will be cool to see WWE television get shaken up a little bit. And, that's not really bashing the current product. I think Raw the last couple of weeks has been great. I thought Raw after Hell in a Cell was awesome. Raw the week after that was awesome this past week. And I'm looking forward to Raw on Monday. I mean, it's going to be taped in England, like I said before, so I don't know how much ratings will go up. But I'm excited to see what happens. And I think Raw in England is always awesome. And Survivor Series has kind of been getting better in recent years. 2013 was an absolutely atrocious show, but 2011, one of my favorite pay-per-views of that year, much less of all time. Loved Survivor Series 2011. 2012 was pretty good. Last year was pretty good. So I'm hoping this year really recaptures that magic of Survivor Series being one of those big 4 pay-per-views. And it will with this tournament to crown a new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. So thank you for bearing with me through this almost 25-minute long video blog. They're not always usually this long, but there's so much to talk about with the Seth Rollins injury. And I'm only scratching the surface. We'll talk so much more about this on WrestleRant Radio this Tuesday. The link will probably not be in the description box. I'll just tell you right now, live365.com/stations/ECTV 73. All the archived episodes are already up on nextairwrestling.net. That link is down below. And you guys can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/graham.jason.matthews, on Twitter at WrestleRant, and be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. All support is greatly appreciated. So, as always, guys, I would love to hear your feedback on the Rollins injury. Where do you see it going? Who do you see becoming the next top heel or the next WWE World Heavyweight Champion? Let me know down in the comments section below. Let me know on Facebook, Twitter, at all the aforementioned links. So like I mentioned at the start of the video, guys, I'll hopefully be getting my video schedule back on track now that my computer is up and running, my new laptop, which is awesome, by the way. For a picture of it, check out my Twitter. I tweeted it out on Thursday night. The WrestleRant video should be back on track in the next couple days. I don't have much going on Saturday and Sunday, which is awesome. I love the weekend because I'm not as busy as I am during the week. So I'm going to spend like literally the entire 48 hours recording all the missed WrestleRant videos that I have missed in the last couple of weeks. So that's it. So enjoy the weekend, guys. I'm Graham GSM Matthews, and I'll catch you guys down the road.